Alright, bruh. This is gonna frustrate me because this is the second time I'm making a video where I have cried. Alright. Week 4. Right? Week 4. Week 4, we started with a new book. I finished my old book. I finished writing it. Finished writing in the old book. Week 4 was about recovering a sense of integrity. Today I was embarrassed and felt like I took a step back despite my successes. So week 4 was about recovering a sense of integrity. We were grappling with changing self-definition. The essays, tasks, and exercises are designed to catapult you into productive introspection and integration of new self-awareness. This may be both difficult and extremely exciting for you. Warning, do not skip the tool of reading deprivation. Okay, so when I went into this week, I was already struggling with week 3, but I had high spirits and hope for this one. When they mentioned reading deprivation, I felt like this doesn't make sense. My entire life is built off of reading, and it very much is. So taking that away honestly allowed me to see a lot of the things that I used to distract myself with. Because like this book explained, which is exactly what I do, I have a habit of making other people's artwork, creativity, expressions, contributions to this world take over my original thought processes and my expression. So if I'm feeling anxious about going to the studio and singing in front of people or something, instead of thinking about that and like settling myself with that and accepting that and moving past that and through that, I will sit in the corner and read books all day. Or I'll do something like clean and mask that lack of productivity with things that seem productive, like washing the dishes and sweeping the floors and throwing out all of my old clothes all of a sudden instead of working in the studio where I should have been the entire time. So yeah, pretty much this chapter definitely allowed me to discover that, and it did allow me to be more aware of my time management. And if I do decide to input something and implement something like those things, making sure that that is me just cleaning up and not me using that as a procrastination tactic. So waking up in the morning and getting all of those chores done, watering all the plants, what have you, is done in a time where before or after I deal with all the things that I need to prioritize myself on. All right. Morning pages were good. Morning pages were very deep. I'll go through them. Something called a kriya popped up for me in this book. They describe it as a spiritual emergency or surrender. Like when your body gives up on you after you go through something stressful or traumatic. Like something that you may have to put a trigger warning over, or something like a heartbreak, or like the death of a loved one, or just something that just, breaks the camel's back, and then it develops these moments of surrender where we can no longer avoid what we need to do to better ourselves, regardless of how silly it may seem or unreasonable it may seem. That word stuck with me, though. I'll definitely be looking into that more often. Right. This chapter was definitely filled with a lot of terms that I had to look up. She was very illustrative with her chapter, and even though I understood it, I definitely had to reread a couple of things. I will say that this chapter was definitely started off really fucking late, like really late. Again, like I said, week 3, I was having a little bit of struggles, and it got me really, it was really hard for me to dedicate time and not stress out about all the stuff that I have to do, money related, of course, bills, what have you. And really focus and buckle down and read the chapter until way later, like on a Thursday. And I do this Tuesday to Tuesday. So with that being said, I didn't know how to tackle week 4 fully until I read that. Of course, I still did my morning pages and affirmations and whatnot, but I didn't know about, the artist prayer, the blurred dreams exercises, or even my reading deprivation. But with the reading deprivation now, that was really hard. And the reason why I say that was really hard was because right as when I read the chapter, I went viral on TikTok. And not only did I go viral on TikTok, but I ended up talking about a topic that happened to be like the talk of the town at the time, and landing interviews from multiple magazines and multiple blogs. And so it became a task where it was almost impossible if I didn't want to lose that opportunity. So with that, I had to kind of crack and read and answer questions so that I can make sure that, the publicity is out there, and I could potentially use that for myself in the future. But I did try my best when it came to my friends to make sure that I didn't just like dip on them, because I have a habit of disappearing. I sent them a chart, an emoji chart that says, I will not be reading any messages or anything like that. So if you do want to talk to me and call me, you can tell me what you want me to talk about by inserting blank, this emoji here. If you want to talk and vent to me while I listen, put this spiral emoji. If you want to gossip about somebody at your job, put this mouth emoji. If you want to talk about goals and take over the world, put this space emoji. If you get it. And they used it, and I appreciated it, because then I got to still connect with my friends without having to read shit, because niggas was just sending me pictures. So that's how I got out of that and wiggled out of that one. As far as when it came to my TikTok, that was the perfect time to do reading deprivation, because with all of that success came a lot of haters with a lot of mean shit to say, and it was perfect because I didn't get to see any of that shit. I didn't get to see it. And it's like 16,000 comments right now going down TikTok. So I'm just very much just One, I'm appreciative of the timing and the synchronicities that has aligned for me during this chapter, which makes me feel like I'm on the right path. But I did get some challenges. You guys, it has been so hard for me to dedicate an artist date to myself. The reason why is because my car was broken into twice. And so I was missing windows, like full-fledged windows, like entire back windows gone, glass everywhere. All that stuff happened twice. So I was missing both windows and I couldn't drive in that. And so it made it very difficult for me to do certain things that I wanted to do. But I got my car fixed yesterday. So I will make sure to do that artist date for myself this week. In fact, I will do 2 to make up for last week. I might as well just do 3. We'll see about that, but definitely 2. Okay, so they had a description in chapter 4 that I was really resonating with because it was exactly where I was at in the moment. I was feeling like I'm doing this shit wrong. Like that, there's something about this that I feel very called to complete, but right now I'm not feeling like I'm doing the best that I possibly can. But I can't deny that I am changing. Pretty much I'm shitting on myself because I didn't do my artist dates. I don't always get the all of the morning pages right on time, or sometimes I write them in the afternoon, or sometimes it can get really negative in there, you know, and it just, you know what? I didn't even get to do the morning pages this morning, and that's probably why these negative thoughts flew in later, because I didn't get to just hash them out when they arrived. I guess that's what they were for, right? And that's why you gotta do it. Yeah, like I said, reading deprivation was hard. I did find a way to wiggle out of it, but the descriptions that they had, it said, when we have engaged the Creator within to heal us, many changes and shifts in our attitude begin to occur. I enumerate some of them here because many of these will not be recognizable at first as healing. In fact, they may seem crazy or even destructive. At best, they will seem eccentric. There will be a change in energy patterns. Your dreams will become stronger and clearer, both by night and by day. You will find yourself remembering your nighttime dreams, and by day, daydreams will catch your attention. You guys, I have been daydreaming like a motherfucker. And then feeling guilty as fuck about that daydreaming because I'm not doing what it is that I need to do to make those dreams come true. And so it becomes a kind of a cycle, trying to do better. But yes, they've been popping up extremely vivid. I can see people, I can hear sentences that'll say, I can see the people watching me. My dreams, they're just very, you know. Many areas of your life that previously seemed to fit well stop fitting. Half of your wardrobe may start to look funny, true. You may decide to reupholster a couch or just toss it out. I've been wanting to reupholster all of my clothes, like redo all of my clothes. Musical bents may alter. This is true. I haven't been listening to music that have much of a, like they're trying to be catchy. I've been more so listening to music that have like messages for me or speak to me technically. Ooh, y'all know. That was crazy. Oh my goodness, you guys. All right, we're out of here. I'm listening. I've been crying, so of course they're loose. All right. So, and then this is another thing, extremely honest. You may find your candor unsettling. I don't like that is a sentence that'll leave your mouth, or I think that's great. In short, your tastes and judgments and personal identity will start to show through. Yes, that has definitely been happening too. And it has been making a lot of people uncomfortable. And as a result, I have had to cut people off. Straight up, just cut people off. Or move them and verbally move them into that space that I feel like would suit them better, because you might not be doing it for me in the realm that you're at. But yeah, when I was reading this part of the book, it felt very emotional. And it just gave me some, some faith and reassurance that I am doing a good job still. And obviously, by me dedicating the time to myself, I am proving to myself every time that I can do it, because I'm successful in those things. Like, the issue that I have is that I have been so sheltered and censored growing up. And not only was I censored verbally, but I was very much censored with physical abuse as the thing that kept me in check. And I'm not just talking about whoopings, Just sometimes things would just go way too far. And now I have gotten so accustomed to shutting myself down in order to survive for the next day and not fuck myself up even more. Then now I do it in my adult life when my family and the people who did that shit to me when I was younger aren't even there anymore. I mask my shit with other shit. Like, for instance, I stress clean. When I'm not feeling good, I typically start to feel insecure. When I start to feel insecure, I'll start to feel like inadequate. And in order for myself to feel adequate, typically would mean that I need to be productive. And so for me to feel adequate and assess my self-worth, because my self-worth is dependent on the things that I do that impress other people, that then impresses myself, I will do some shit like clean up the entire house. All of a sudden, I gotta go detail my car by hand, by myself, with a toothbrush and Dove soap. Just meticulous. Just so that I can get something huge done to prove to myself that I am worth something. But then I'll sit back at night and be mad that I didn't do what I wanted to do. I just did what I thought was going to impress everybody else around me who aren't even here anymore. And it's so much stronger than I thought. It takes so much room in my life. It literally takes over my life. That fear that I have of just being myself literally takes over my life. I feel like I'm fighting to live. And I promise you guys, sometimes y'all don't be seeing this, but sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the world. And sometimes I feel like Nothing can stop me, and I damn near already read the rest of this damn book. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'll go out and I'll, express myself freely, and I'll say what I want to say, and I'll do what the fuck I want to do, and things will go exactly in my way, in my favor. And then I wake up the next day and it's like none of that shit even happened. And it's all the fucking shit that everybody put into me when I was younger. Because now that I've written my blurts out, as I said before, I can identify where they are coming from. So when they pop back into my head, I'm like, that was you, auntie. That was you, uncle. That was you, teacher. Like, when I was in college, my cousin died. And he was raised with me, so it was the most devastating thing that has ever happened in my life to this very day. And I've been through a lot of fucking shit. But that is to this day the most pain I've ever felt in my life. And I was in school in California, and my cousin died in Florida. So I had to fly to Florida for the funeral service. He had multiple services. And when I came back, my teachers decided to have a Zoom call with me. And they decided to tell me that not only do they not like my artwork, but the only reason why I even have gotten this far, which was about senior year, you know how semesters work, was that because my previous teachers didn't want to see me again the next year. That I was so irritated that all of my teachers in the illustration program just knew who I was and what kind of energy I was going to bring, that they just slid me along so that they didn't have to deal with me. Now, coming from somebody who literally worked their entire life to just be pleasing to people, was heartbroken by this, because I felt like despite all of my smiles and my giddiness and my tolerance with the blatant racism that was at that fucking school, I still felt inadequate. And so it took me a while to try to recover from that when it happened in the moment. And then to tackle these new tasks now, like music, and already see that insult or blurt in the distance that I'm still not enough, and if I do get an audience, it won't be because I really earned it, pretty much mimicking that my teachers are saying that I didn't deserve the degree that I'm getting, or that I got. I didn't know how much this shit is in. I didn't know how deep rooted this shit really is until I decided that, hey, I'm going to actively, and I mean actively, I mean every fucking day, I'm gonna obsess over this shit until I fucking fix it. Until it took me to do that, I didn't realize how fucked up this shit was. I was just torturing myself, but didn't even realize that I was actually that was probably the easiest part of the journey. For me, anyway. Anyways. Listing the hobbies, 5 hobbies, 5 classes, 5 things that I would never do, 5 skills. Those were all interesting. I wanted to learn how to use a gun. And now I'm going to go to the gun range. I won't be by myself though, so it won't be counted as an artist date. But thank you for that, Miss Julia. The reading deprivation definitely gave me time to focus on other things that I actually do find important. Also, right as when I started doing reading deprivation, I was like, I have so much time to do everything. And then I literally picked up 3 books immediately after just having the decision of reading deprivation to me do what I want to do, and picked up the books. And that's when I realized, like, girl. I did an artist prayer. Okay? I did an artist prayer, and my artist prayer was beautiful. And I want to say that prayer before I go into the studio or before I perform. I'm going to memorize that prayer. So I'll start saying that every night now and before I do anything, so that, Throwing out some outfits. I threw out some outfits the day before I read this. But just because I read this again, I'm going to throw out another outfit because I know that I can. How many days did I do my morning pages? Let's calculate. Let's see. Out of the 7. Let's see. I did 6 out of 6. Wow. Awesome. Okay. Time to get the spirits up. The morning pages have been easy to do for me. Obviously, they've been easier to do. I have been feeling less stressed about it. The affirmations, though, are hard because the affirmations that I have been switched up, and I wanted to try the 369 affirmation thing because that seems to be working for my partner right now. And they've literally blown up off of it. So I definitely believe that it could work for me as well. So I've been taking those same affirmations that I developed through the book, and I've been doing them 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night, all 3 of them. So it is a lot of writing, but I've been able to keep up. A part of me wants to go back to the 5, though, because that was working for me. It was my own thing. God bless our own things, right? Okay, so with week 5, we are going to try to tackle this in a more healthy manner. Actually, no, we're just going to, whatever the fuck it is, we're going to be that. I'm just going to go through the process without judging myself. I'm going to get on some fucking music today. Let's do this, Okay, so recovering a sense of possibility. This week, you are being asked to examine your payoffs in remaining stuck. You will explore how to curtail your own possibilities by placing limits on the good you can receive. You will examine the cost of settling for appearing good instead of being authentic. You may find yourself thinking about radical changes, no longer ruling out your growth by making others the cause of your constriction. So I am on task. I already know this is about to be some shit because I really do let everybody else. Bewley is going to be great. Bewley is great. Bewley can do everything. Bewley can do anything and everything. Bewley is doing anything and everything. Bewley is making wonderful music every single day. Bewley is making wonderful content. Bewley is keeping her mental health in check. Bewley is keeping her spiritual health in check. Beautiful, wonderful, graceful, glorious, majestic, brilliant. Yeah. All I can do is love on myself through this. All right, that's it, y'all.